So I don't think that we need a biological substrate. I think a biological substrate is one way to instantiate a system that has something like consciousness. But I think it's, equally well, or artificial substrates can do this equally well in principle. Again, it's not necessarily the case. It's not necessarily the case that existing hardware has, I don't know, the speed or the memory or even the right kind of architecture exactly to instantiate a meaningful notion, where meaningful is in the sense of it maps onto what we think of as being consciousness. Not necessarily the case. This is a hypothesis, but I do actually think that it can be instantiated on artificial substrates. Of course, this would mean that you need to come up with or have a theory of consciousness that is compatible with it's being implemented in artificial substrates. And indeed, I think this notion of higher order perception, maybe second order perception to start with, is a good way of framing it that makes it compatible with an artificial substrate. Basically, again, if there is an experience to be had, it's got to be represented somewhere. And there's a whole kind of thing that we can go into about the nature of computation and representational languages. But kind of maybe the TLDR on this is that, computation amounts to a formal representational language that is implementable. Basically, the subset of math that works is the way Yasha likes to put it. And you can imagine that indeed, if you can have perception as being what phenomenology is, then you can, in principle, have a computational system, even of the kind that we, are familiar with in our everyday computers, that both has a representation of content and a representation of that content being represented. Of course, this is also based on, so there are a certain set of metaphysical assumptions that you have to make if you are kind of that imply compatibility with machine consciousness, and those positions can sort of be summed up as, I guess, computational functionalism or computationalist functionalism.